Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Chapter 1. The Old Sea Dog at the Admiral Benbow. The story begins in the year 1757, when I was 13 years old. One morning, an old seaman arrived. I remember him as if it were yesterday. He came plodding to the inn door, his sea chest following behind him in a hand barrow. He was a tall, strong, heavy, nut-brown man, with a pigtail falling over the shoulder of his soiled blue coat. His hands were rough and scarred, with black and broken nails. Across one cheek was a thick, white scar. He looked around the cove, whistling to himself. Then he started singing that old sea song, the one he sang so often afterwards. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Then he rapped on the door with a stick that he carried. When my father appeared, he said, "Give me a glass of rum." When it was brought to him, the seaman drank his rum slowly. He continued looking about him at the cliffs and up at our signboard. "Nice grog shop you've got here, mate," he told my father. "How's business?" "Not good," said my father. "We don't get many guests." "Well then," said he, "I'll stay here a bit." "How long were you thinking of?" The seaman threw down 3 or 4 gold pieces on the threshold. "You can tell me when I've worked through that," he said. "Right, and—" "I'm a plain man," interrupted the seaman. Despite his rough appearance and dirty clothes, it was clear that he was used to giving orders. "Rum and bacon and eggs is what I want, and a room at the top to watch the ships from." "And your name, sir?" "Just call me Captain." We soon learned the captain's routine. All day he hung around the cove or upon the cliffs with a brass telescope. All evening he sat in a corner of the parlour next to the fire and drank rum and water. Mostly he would not speak when spoken to. Every day when he came back from his stroll, he would ask, "Have you seen any other seamen around today?" At first we thought he was looking for the company of other sailors. After a while I learned that the opposite was true. One day he took me aside. "Want to earn yourself a silver coin on the first day of every month?" Of course I did. "Keep your weather eye open for a seafaring man with one leg. Let me know the first moment he appears." So every the first of the month I applied to him for my wage. Often he would only blow through his nose at me and stare me down, but he always brought me my silver coin within the week, and he always repeated his orders to look out for the seafaring man with one leg. This man came to haunt my dreams. On stormy nights, when the wind shook the 4 corners of the house and the surf roared along the cove, I would see that monstrous creature in 1,000 forms. In my worst nightmares, he would leap and run and pursue me over hedge and ditch. It was a high price for my monthly silver coin, but I was far less afraid of the captain than anyone else who knew him. On nights when he drank too much, he sang his old sea songs. Often I heard the house shaking with "Yo ho ho" and a bottle of rum. Sometimes he would force everyone to listen to his stories. He would slap his hand on the table for silence and fly up into a rage if he thought anyone was not listening hard enough. Nor would he allow anyone to leave the inn till he had drunk himself sleepy and was ready to go to bed. His dreadful stories frightened people the most. They told of hanging and walking the plank and storms at sea. The captain had lived his life among some of the wickedest men in the world. My father worried that he would scare our customers away. But I think the captain did us good. Secretly, people rather liked these blood-curdling tales. They brought excitement to our quiet country life. In one way, though, he did damage us. By staying on week after week and then month after month, he used up the money he had given us. My father never had the heart to insist on having more. If he ever mentioned it, the captain blew very loudly through his nose. This roar was followed by a stare that forced my poor father out of the room. In all the time he lived with us, he never wrote or received a letter or spoke to anyone outside of our inn. None of us had seen his great sea chest open. Was it the dead man's chest the captain sang about? It always appeared so in my nightmares. My father became ill. One late afternoon, Dr. Livesey came to see him. From the bar came the sound of 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. The two men then met on the stairs, where the captain glared at the doctor. I have only one thing to say to you, sir, said the doctor. If you keep on drinking rum, you will soon be dead. The old fellow's fury was awful. He sprang to his feet, then drew and opened a sailor's clasp knife. I'll pin you to the wall, he roared. The doctor did not move. He spoke, perfectly calm and steady. If you do not put that knife this instant in your pocket, he said, you shall hang at the next assizes. Then followed a battle of looks between them. But the captain soon knuckled under. He put away his weapon, grumbling like a beaten dog.